All right, folks, welcome back to the Dota Pit League Season 2. We're well underway into our second match, pretty much of the entire tournament. Hellraisers versus Denial eSports here in a best-of-2 series. Thank you so much for joining us here on twitch.tv/DotaPit. A bit of an inauspicious start for us in terms of the cast, but as far as the games go, we had a great series between Sneaky Nyx Assassins versus Virtus Pro Polar. That was fantastic. Of course, we're here into the second series of the day, Hellraisers versus Denial. My name is Mott. With me tonight is Bobby. How are you, sir?
Frustrated, and hopefully the mic settings are
10
fixed.
seconds remaining.
I really hope so.
Cross your fingers.
Spent all the time in between
5
games with Cuddle
seconds
Guy,
remaining.
You sound good.
hoping to fix things.
You sound good. That's all that matters.
Well, Skype always
Reserve
sounded
time.
fine.
That's true.
I'm just hoping that it sounds fine on in-game as well.
Well, listen, let's not be
And
too
stream
negative.
and everywhere.
And everywhere,
That's
exactly.
good.
Yes.
Just please.
Crossing our
Anyway,
fingers.
Hellraisers and Denial
Dire team
is
pick.
a very exciting series because of the captains of both teams, in my opinion. Artstyle and Mad are two captains that aren't afraid to try new things, and
Radiant
are
team
both
pick.
pretty brilliant in their drafting.
That seems to be the case for a lot of the games we've seen already today. I mean, you talk about Goblak, like, who's going to draft a Magnus, Medusa first to pick and get away with it and actually just crush the game? Like, how is that going to happen? But at the same time, obviously, these are two teams with some different playstyles, obviously, and some interesting characters that I haven't seen in some time. You
10
go back to Mad, you go back to
remaining.
Sakshika. And these guys have played together for a long time.
5
Played for
seconds
MTW,
remaining.
obviously, they moved on. Hellraisers, obviously, with Artstyle and Dread. Some pretty legendary names
Reserve
coming back
time.
into the Dota scene as well. So some really good players coming out from both teams, and I'm kind of excited to see what they can
Radiant
do in this
team
series,
back.
and maybe getting back to their former glory days. So we'll see.
Artstyle, the TI champion.
Yeah, that's right. That's What happened after TI won, though? That's the real question.
Yeah. In terms of draft, we've got Terrorblade and
10
Void banned out
seconds
for
remaining.
Denial, and the bans from Hellraisers are Wisp and Tree.
5 seconds remaining.
Tree used to be a favorite of Mad, and
Reserve time.
the Artstyle just doesn't want any of it. He wants Tree out of the game.
Mhm.
As far as picks go, first pick Skyrath when DP is still available. The only thing that DP had
Dire
changed in
team
6.82
ban.
was the ult cooldown getting a little bit longer,
Yeah.
which isn't the biggest nerf. I think the hero is still insanely strong.
Yes.
It also got nerfed
Radiant
in a
team
way
banned.
because towers give less of a bounty now,
Dire
and Blip gets
team
reset
ban.
after you kill a tier 1.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be why
Dire
Denial
team
favors
pick.
Skyrath over DP. Can't forget that Skyrath also had his concussive shot nerfed.
That's true, and that's a nice change as well. But I agree with you that the
Radiant
biggest change I
team
think is
pick.
honestly the towers, or at least it should be the biggest change because you can still take towers like crazy. The ult cooldown, yes, it's a bit longer now, but it's really not that big of a deal. You just wait a bit longer to take down a tower. You kind of still can pressure it, and when you get your level 3 ultimate too, it's kind of ridiculous. So that's something to keep in mind.
DP is a strong pusher, but an even stronger team fighter,
Mm-hmm.
which is where I think the hero shines.
10
Hellraisers also
seconds
pick
remaining.
up Furion and Earthshaker.
5
Furion,
seconds
another hero
remaining.
that's a strong pusher as well as farmer, and in general, he's the best
Reserve
offlaner against the Skyrath mage, because Skyrath, while having high base move speed and good harassing power with his Arcane Bolt, has 0 armor. Furion's a ranged hero and he's got Trance that can also poke away at a Skyrath and run him out of regen extremely quick, especially since supports pull tangos to their mids. So Skyrath has some trouble zoning a Furion out completely. Earthshaker's just a solid support pick overall.
It really is. That hero's been seeing a lot of play, and for good reason as well. Fisher blocks are really important. You can help out your offlaner just by blocking creep wave alone early on in the game, so that's something to keep in mind. Denial eSports, they've got a pick here with the Bat Rider. I do want to take a second here. Let's take out their Dota 2 pit or Dota Pit match of the day. It's going to be Paris versus Dread. If we look at the offlaners real quick, and as you can see, Paris having a bit of a rough time, only averaging about 4 kills a game, 6 deaths and 8 assists, so he's getting in there. His signature heroes, the Brewmaster, the Tide, and obviously the Elder Titan. For Dread, a legend in the Dota scene. He's been playing for a while. He's got the Darkseer, the Furion, and they do more kind of standard off-lane performing heroes, and he also has a bit better in terms of his GPM and XPM, so look to see Dread maybe win out in this matchup here, although Denial are still a very solid team. Jumping back into the draft here as we get back in underway, we have a Spectre now coming out from Hellraisers. We see this so often, this global strategy all of a sudden becoming pretty important here for a lot of these teams, and Spectre has been a hero that's picked a lot. Denial picked the Alchemist, though, right before that, so...
10 seconds
Denial's
remaining.
draft, they can go a number of ways. Batrider can go mid or top.
Dire team ban.
Alchemist can be carrier support, although it's more likely support. And now they've picked up the Clinks.
Radiant team ban.
Oh boy. This is a hero you wanted to see last game because of
It was
Scandal.
yeah.
But this hero is actually fun as hell to watch, and he's quite good as well. Not that many teams have been picking him. He's maybe seen a bit of an increase in terms
10
of his actual
seconds
pick
remaining.
percentage, but he's a hero that I think has got a
5
lot of damage,
seconds
and
remaining.
if you can get the mobility right with him, he can get kills easy, especially if you give him some solo
Dire
experience,
team pick.
get him some easy free farm, you should be good to go, so...
Yep, and they made Searing Arrows not a unique attack
Radiant
modifier
team
anymore, so you
pick.
can get
Oh,
things like Lifesteal, or you get Maelstrom as a second item, because with all of your attacks from Strafe, you're going to be proccing that lightning like crazy.
That's true. That's another carry item that I actually talked about that too. I think that's a good item too for him.
Yeah, and Hellraiser's last pick is another support. It's another global support, or global hero, I should say, Ancient Apparition.
10 seconds remaining.
That's that really certainly fits into this line. I honestly, I
5
played this line with my
seconds
brother yesterday,
remaining.
kind of with the Ancient Apparition Spectre, and I think an Earthshaker was in there as well. So like, there's this global
Reserve
presence
time.
that it's just so difficult to deal with, and because you have a Spectre, you can get involved in fights and you can take farm just by using Haunt, and you can also farm pretty effectively across the map. But the problem with this is that it can shut him early. However, I'm not sure if it lends them to that early game. It depends on how they play it and where they, which I'm very excited to see here for Denial. It's even that I have yet to watch Hellraisers as well, and it's going to be a good series here as we're going to jump into the draft. This last pick, Invoker, I'm kind of questioning it. What do you think about it?
It's a risky pick.
Yeah.
Well, it's because there's not much hard CC on his team. Usually you see Invoker paired with heroes like Faceless Void, so they can get off their full combo and do a lot of damage during the Chronosphere. But in this game they have the Alchemist stun and Batrider Lasso to set up
Prepare
for
for battle.
Sunstrikes and such. They do have Sunstrikes to help them if they play aggressive early game, though, assuming he goes Exort.
I think that's a pretty fair assumption at this point. How many quad swexes have we seen in the past couple of weeks, especially with patch 6.82? That's the thing. So I imagine it'll be quad exort, but I've been wrong before. So we are going to jump into the game. It is going to be game number 2, well, series number 2, game number 1 actually of a best of 2 series, or a 2-game series as it's called. And we'll get into the introductions. So for Denial, you have Paris, Sakshika playing the Batrider, I believe that's Sakshika. We'll have Q, SDF on the Invoker in the mid lane. Down bottom, we'll have Creo, he'll be playing the Skywrath Mage. Matt will be on the Alchemist, and we'll have Joral will be on the Clinks. On the other side of things, for Hellraisers, we'll have
30
Dread.
seconds
He'll
to
be on the
battle.
Nature's Prophet, going in the off lane. It's going to be mid Yoki playing the Death Prophet. We'll have Artstyle on the Spectre. Dubas will be on the Earthshaker, and Immune will be on the Ancient Apparition as well. So just some defensive tri-lines coming out right now. No real pressure coming out on the Spectre here. On the other side of things, it looks like we'll have Clinks getting free farm down in that bottom lane, but I think he should be roaming early on here just to try to get kills and be effective in this game.
If you look at the support
The
items they're
battle
about, there's 2
begins.
smokes on Denial, so they're definitely looking to play aggressive with their Alchemist Skywrath. They also have sentries, obs, and couriers, so their supports don't have much in the way of stat items, and they didn't save up gold towards boots or anything, but they have smokes, so they're looking to get kills. For Hellraisers, they saved gold for sentries just in case they needed it on Ancient Apparition. Earthshaker also saved a little bit of gold, and they have a smoke as well as a chicken knobs.
And it looks like they won't need to use the sentries or need to get the sentries. They haven't had any camps blocked, and it looks like that rider doesn't have awards, so he's just going to be sitting here and trying to leech experience. If you're going to be trying to gank the Death Prophet in the mid lane, I feel like that's very difficult, especially when she gets her boots. Her move speed makes her incredibly difficult to take down, even with a Skywrath Mage and even with an Alchemist. So that's my one problem coming up from Denial right now. Whereas on the other side of things, Fisher is certainly good up against the Invoker to get a kill here, and they can easily do so by just smoking up. So I think you're talking about early rotations from smokes. We'll have to wait and see who gets one done first.
I don't think it's too hard to gank a Death Prophet before she hits too many levels. 4 DP hits 6, it's pretty easy to go for a kill on him as long as DP doesn't sense that it's coming and back off.
Yes. So just positioning essentially going to be really important for Yoki here. Doing pretty well. Again, this is just going to be, I think, a hard farming game early on. Again, rotations coming up from supports are going to be very important, but I imagine we'll have to see Gerald get involved pretty early on here because he's this Clinks. Obviously, the Invoker with Sunstrikes would be pretty nice to have, but some stacks up in the jungle could be huge for Paris up in this top lane on this Batrider. If he can get some Firefly going in that jungle, get to a really quick Clinks aggro, that could be a nice boon for him. Whereas Artstyle is just farming up now, 7 last hits. Again, you want to be involved with Flaunt, but you also probably want to get a Radiance here on Artstyle as early as possible.
Radiance is the most popular build, but if he does have to get shut down, you go for other options like Fusel Blade on Spectre or just going Manta.
That's something that we don't see enough of, I feel like. It's just like Spectre's just saying, okay, well, listen, I'm probably not going to get a Radiance, but, well, hold that thought. Oh, yeah, you're right, Yoki getting caught out. There's going to be the Unstable Concoction. Acid Sprays. Well, they're getting 4 heroes here just to be involved in this kill, and they will get it with Paris. He's drawing the first blood there. Fucking that. He's going to get caught out with the Acid Spray, but he should be okay. Or rather, the Fisher Stun.
If Batrider wasn't there with boots and double damage rune, they wouldn't have gotten that kill. They had to use the Cold Snap to mini-stun once, just to allow Alchemist to get into range, and Earthshaker knew that it was coming and was there with the Fisher. But the double damage from Bat getting 2 attacks and was able to finish off Yoki on the Death Prophet.
And that's huge too. It gives him a little bit of experience going the way of the Invoker. Gives him some gold as well. Obviously the first blood going the way of the Batrider. He's at already 1,000 gold right now, so the question is whether he goes for his Tranquils and then grabs his Blink Dagger, or if he gets his Blink first in this situation. I mean, he's gonna have to go back home though, it looks like, at the very least.
Or he could get a bottle so he doesn't have to go back home.
True.
Or just have one of the supports give him some regen.
Alright, you're gonna give me regen, you're gonna be my courier.
Yeah, you don't need that. You're a support.
Yeah, give me that clarity. You don't need that at all. That's true, so he is going to sit in the jungle now. He's just going to keep farming right now, get some stacks going his way. Furion has TP back bottom. Dread probably was jungling for a bit. I'm not sure. Looks like he went home for a bit. 20 last hits going for Geraldo in this bottom lane, though, so he's having a heck of a time. 2 points Searing Arrows, 2 points Skeleton Walk, no surprise there. He's got a Sage's Mask already. Looks like he'll be building into an Orchid, I imagine.
One thing with Clinks that goes Orchid is he's going to hit his power in the mid game faster than the other carry, so he'll be able to go for solo kills onto the Spectre while Spectre's sitting there trying to farm, because he'll have Orchid before the Radiance. It just costs less gold. Unless Spectre gets fed early game, which it doesn't look like it's happening because they're both free farming the safe lane.
Yeah, there's not really going to be that much action, I think, at the top lane for Artstyle, and even if he gets on, I'm not sure how many kills will be involved in. We'll have to see. The Spectre's had a bit of a rough time here in 6.82. Even though Spectre has been buffed, and obviously this type of playstyle benefits the Spectre, I just don't know if it's really been the best situation for a lot of these teams. However, if the game goes late enough, you're certainly going to out-carry a Clinks, and we saw that in the game between, I believe, Navi US and Shadows of the Past, where Infinity played a heck of a Clinks game, but then just got shut down once Snaking got, 4, 5, 6 slotted, so it's very difficult to deal with, I think. I mean, if you get enough farm, if this game goes late enough, it's just too ridiculous.
Spectre in the late game is a very, very strong hero.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Pretty strong mid game, like Death Prophet, Earthshaker A, and Furion can carry Spectre to the mid game, as long as he's haunting. Then they have really good late game because Furion is just good at all stages of the game, and Spectre just gets better and better. While DP falls off a little bit towards the end, but is still a strong hero in the whole.
Yeah, absolutely. Unstable Concoction, Dubas is just running around getting defensive shouted now. Unstable is going to fly, it's going to connect the Sunstrike as well. Dubas going to get blown up, boom, Invoker getting it done. Rio trying to TP out, will make it away. Dread getting it up with Searing Arrows, but he's okay. Skeleton Walk from Draw, level 2 with that, so he should be fine. He has a salve as well. And he's actually going to go for the Soul Ring first, it looks like. And they will grab that, and means that he will have some extra mana regen going his way. He'll be able to Death Pact as well. And good fight for Denial already early on in this game.
Dubas sensed up the gank coming in onto Furion, and he was in a good position, but he got caught by the Denial support, who was brought down. There's a huge stack already at the hard camp. over here for Hellraisers.
Wow, that's gonna be some gold going their way.
They're probably gonna give it to DP to accelerate DP's farm.
Yes.
To get their drums up and to get the Yules up. And to also get to level 11 faster because the rank 1 ult is kind of eh.
It's not good.
The rank 2 ult is pretty strong, rank 3 is really, really strong.
That's when you hit your peak, is when you get that level 16 for the Death Prophet. I mean, and a couple more items on top of it, like a Bloodstone or Heart, Yules, obviously, like you talked about. It just feels like at that point, if you can get to your level 3 ultimate, especially if you're doing well, it's going to be kind of a rough time for Denial, so...
Batrider is about to have his Blink and level 6.
That's
He's going to
really
have to Fountain, it looks like. Yeah, there's no Bottle and Invoker to give him a charge. So he's going to have to Fountain before he farms the stack. But once he farms it, he will have his Blink in level 7, or level 6 rather.
He actually has Firefly ready to go. He won't be able to stick an Napalm, but still might be able to take it down.
He can do it once, maybe.
And that could be enough for him to get to that Blink Dagger, which is 2250 now. They, of course, changed the gold cost, and it looks like this should be enough for it. And then he'll be able to go home, maybe purchase up a smoke and go for a gank here, and that would be very important for Denial to get involved early on in this game. With, I mean, like an 8-minute Blink Dagger is pretty damn good timing, especially in this patch for Batrider. They did abandon the top lane, so your Spectre is getting free farm, but that's still good, you know, overall.
It's too hard for him to contest top lane because Spectre can just chase him with a dagger.
Yes.
One of the few heroes that can shut down an alternate Batrider instantly, or carry heroes. Outside of like the triple stun lanes.
Yep, that's the thing too. That's actually a really good point. I don't think if Spectre has somebody that can get kills in the lane, but
Dire's
in that
bottom
situation,
tower
absolutely.
is under attack.
There's a Midas now done at 7 minutes and 50 seconds, so Klinks actually went for a Soul Ring first, his Boots first as well, and then gets a pretty decently timed Midas, all things considered. So Denial are starting to get some big items coming out for their heroes. Again, you are giving free farm to Artstyle, and he is going for Phase Drum, but you're still doing pretty well on your own. Right, and it looks like actually the Invoker not going for a Midas of his own. QSDF is just setting in and just CSing essentially and getting plenty of farm in doing so. And Paris is behind him, he's smoked up, he's ready to go for a Blink Lasso, but they are not going to find DP. Yoki is going to be using his Crypt Storm, like you mentioned, just to get this stack. Well, that's happening, Bottom lane is getting pressured as well.
Dubas is trying to hold
Dire's
bottom lane, but there's not much he can do. On this next wave, with Searing Arrows, are probably going to take the tower down.
Doesn't have Strafe, but he doesn't need it in this situation. There's no real point.
They don't have any other heroes. Getting DP needs to go to the fountain to get mana. And it's actually going to be Dread with his ultimate taking some of the stack. DP's probably going to have to come back to finish it off, though.
Dread only has 1 mil Talisman for those of you playing at home. Not quite the mil Talisman game we've been seeing recently, which, by the way, is just, I think, the best build ever. It's awesome. It's fun.
Maybe to watch.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know about to play against or
to play with.
As. Yeah, it's not the best, but I think it's great to watch. It looks like he will be going for Midas, though. He already has explosive pace, and he's not buying above strength to finish a Tread, so that's going to be his choice. Dural actually TP's into the mid lane. Looks like they're going to go for a kill here, maybe on the death bot. I don't know if they can get this kill. They have full snap. They're going to use a Yoki getting brought low. There's going to be the Searing Arrows as well. The Haunt, Sunstrike going to fly. Boom, they get the kill. Nicely done. And Booker takes down Yoki. His Sunstrikes have been on point, and they get a kill on the Death Prophet. Ooh, Haunt coming through. Nicely done.
Before he went, or ported with the Haunt, he got the Chilling Touch by the Ancient Apparition. Meanwhile, while he's gone, A is getting some soul experience top, and he's about to crack level 6.
That's huge. Getting the Ice Blast, getting involved with the global.
Getting nice and early, much like the last game.
Gonna be like that. Oh, nice TP coming in from Paris. He blinks in last as they get the kill, and so much for that. So much for your level 6, my friend. Oh, God.
Good kill for Denial, though. That was their first blink last time.
Art style. Searing Arrows doing some work, but the Sunstrike didn't connect really, so he actually just TP's away. Nicely done. They're pressuring that. He actually has to go home because of that too. So Artstyle can't sit and farm, he just has to back up. He will have Haunt up in 60 seconds, and I think this is also really important, is that they get involved with Haunt early on, rather than just sitting back and CS the entire game. But if you have a sure kill with Haunt, it's really important, I think, that you get it done. So.
Yep. Dubas, while he was sitting bottom for a long time, he was able to catch up in experience. He's almost level 5. Almost level 6 coming up on Mad. Meanwhile, the Scout is also halfway to level 6, and the AA just cracked level 6.
So the experience-wise, in terms of the supports, it's pretty close. Other than that Earthshaker currently, Denial is leading because of that. They have a 2,000 experience lead coming right out. So
Dire's bottom tower
They're
is
also
under
hit
attack.
1 and they're hitting this bottom tower.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
But this is what we expected. Early pressure coming out
Yeah.
from Denial, and I'm sure they'll do fine up until the mid-game, but then all of a sudden you have level 2 ultimate coming out from Yoki.
Necrobook rank 1 already picked up on Invoker.
He's having a heck of a time. Again, he didn't have to go for Midas, though, and that's the thing.
He's gonna end up being a little
Dire's
bit
bottom
underleveled
tower is under
because
attack.
of no Midas.
Mhm.
You pick up Midas on Invoker, especially Exit just for the levels primarily.
Yes.
But he will have his Necrobook 3 a little bit faster. He stays having a good start and keeps getting hero kills.
I think that's really good, too, because if you're trying to put this early game aggression on, it's better that you have the Necro 3 early to take down towers and to take fights, and to kind of snowball, which you don't see as much, but still plausible. I don't know. Haunt's gonna go through. Not sure who they're chasing after. Lasso, maybe. Oh, Yoki's gonna get caught out. He's gonna get sunstriked as well, and that's gonna be Invoker involved in yet another kill. He's actually on a killing spree. Nicely done.
Leif was support Creo instantly when he saw that Haunt
Dire's
TP's
middle
home.
tower is
He
under
doesn't want to
attack.
get gone on by Spectre again and
Dire's
killed
structures
because he's
are
defenseless
fortified.
against the Spectre.
He's just like, nope, I don't think so.
Nope.
That's without a radiance, too. He's just afraid, man. I don't blame him.
Well, when you're a zero armor hero, it's a
You
hard
just,
life.
yeah. Well, smart play. He gets out of there. He gets home, and now they're
Dire's
going to put
middle
pressure on the mid
tower is
tower
under
here. The tier
attack.
1 going and getting low from Giral using the searing arrows. He has level 1 strafe, but he actually maxed out his skeleton wall first, which I like. Meanwhile, Sunstrike, TP cancel. Smart play. Unstable getting charged, but he's going to stun himself, although he does have chemical rage, so no big deal there. Fisher blocking the tier 1 tower, but it is going to go down. Aegis Rav actually doing some damage here.
Yep, but
Wow.
Forcing that TP cancel made it so that Hellraiser is pinned from the tower. They're going to shoot an Ancient Apparitional to try to pick someone off. Solving up though.
Look at those timings. The two of the top 3 timings they were from American players. Smash and, of course, Rebor is the lovely mid player, except the lovely Invoker player. What a player he is. Art style. Full snaps, he's just gonna get out. Sunstrike! It will connect, but they don't have the damage to push them all off. So he'll get out alive, but still, nicely done. QSDF has hit almost every single one of his Sunstrikes this game. Really impressive.
And getting that extra damage
Radiant's
on Arsenal
middle
makes it
tower
so he
is under
doesn't
attack.
feel safe jungling for too long. So he will have to go back to base.
Oh. Yeah, that's also just, again, they're shutting him
Dire's
down from getting
bottom
too much
tower
CS.
is under attack.
He's got 82 assets, he is leading the way, but again, if you're having to periodically go back home, it's really important. Meanwhile, Jiral's chasing after Yoki, or just at least scouting things out. There's not sentry wards all over the map, there's no gem. Sunstrike
Another
connects on
Sunstrike
Yoki.
hits.
My god, this guy is just on point. He's just dropping
throwing
bombs on
multiple
people.
Middle tower
Yeah, he
is
really
under
is.
attack.
It's
like-
like shoot arrow, hit arrow, shoot Sunstrike, hit Sunstrike.
It's been impressive, actually. He's just
Definitely.
dropping the bombs, and it's just
Lane
been
ward.
fun.
Radiant's middle
And
tower
we're coming up
is
from
under attack.
Hellraisers, just saw the TP in from Bat Rider, who has Blink and Force at 14 minutes.
Meanwhile, they're going to haunt. They're looking for maybe a kill. They does stuff on Giral. TP coming in. He does reality 2 there, but Giral is going to get out just fine. It looks like he's juking them pretty effectively. And he does have a TP scroll if he needs to get away. So haunt used. Now it's on cooldown. He has to actually walk towards the top lane if he wants to be involved in a fight. And I'm not sure if he wants to be at this point. With no haunt, you have to deal with Lasso. You've got to deal with Unstable, Chemical Rage. This is going to be a tough engagement, I think, for Hellraisers if they take it.
And I don't think they can, which is why they're split pushing. They're putting pressure on mid with 3 heroes, they're putting pressure on bottom with Furion.
Dire's top tower
Trying
is under
to
attack.
lay their push top. They also have the Aeol shot up there.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Aeol is actually doing a lot of work against the Alchemist. He's not able to fill up his ultimate.
Radiant's middle tower
They
is
won't be
under
able to,
attack.
you know, take the fight, but they are kind
Radiant
of being
structures
annoying.
are
However, the tier 1 tower is going to
Dire's
fall, and now they're going to have
top
everyone
tower has
TP
fallen.
back mid. And this is a fight that really Hellraisers can't take. They're going to start off with Cold Snap on Archstyle first. Meanwhile, Yoki can come through. He does have his ultimate, but Fisher will push them back for now. Nicely done. Exorcism is going to go for Yoki. Flameburst's going to push him away a bit. And everyone's started to rotate over for Denial, with the exception of Draw, who has rotated down bottom. He's still trying to get to that second Oblivion Staff and get his Orca done, which he's kind of close to at this point.
Radiant's middle
And the deny
tower
for
has
QSDF
been
in that mid lane,
denied.
which also, at this point, he's going to have his Necro through, which is going to fly out too, so.
Very, very early Necro 3. there needs to be a lot more pressure put on by Denial. They need to try and get a mechanism up, so after they get hit with the Fear and ult the A ult, they can heal up and keep pushing instead of having to back off. Getting the Denying the mid tower is definitely a big plus for them, and they were able to have Joel save the bottom tower from the split push that Hellraiser's put on. But they need to be able to get a mechanism up, that way they can take a tier 2 and either try to go high ground or take a tier 2 in a different lane, or Roshan. Instead of having 2 heroes on their team be forced to the fountain, they got hit by AA and Baron.
And Matt's not building towards that mech just yet. He should be the one. Meanwhile, there is going to be, Artstyle looking to try to get out Paris in the top lane, going to town. Artstyle getting low. They do get the kill on Paris. Nicely done. They zone him out. They get him out of there. They actually get 2 kills as well across the map. And that keeps Artstyle alive. So nice play there. And it gives him a bit of gold as well, so.
There was another Sunstrike that did hit, it's just not enough damage.
How unfortunate. QSDF, I mean, like, that's just... I mean, it's great that he can hit these Sunstrikes, but it's just not... If it's not enough damage to get these kills, then it's really... They're not accomplishing much. And you talked about getting a mech and pushing and keeping pressure on the map, and now they're starting to get room for Hellraisers here, so... It's really... Again, I agree with you on the mech, but is it going to be mad building it is the question.
They might not want to push the aggression too far. Like although I see, like, when I see an Invoker go for book 3 early instead of Midas, I think that they want to just get all the tier 1s and the tier 2s instead of just get the tier 1s and stop and farm up. They could be just waiting for other items like the...
Dubas, Fisher, and he avoids the Sunstrike. Wow. Just barely living.
That's the first Sunstrike that I saw in this.
Yeah, I think no, actually, you know what? I think all of them have hit that I've seen as well, which has been really impressive, but... Which, by the way, important to note that that's Funzy on the Invoker. Something I should have said. It's just easier to say QSDF sometimes. I just like that more. But that is Funzy. So this is like 3 of the 5 MTW players from way back when they won against Navi at DreamHack. I think DreamHack Summer 2012? That was a while ago. That was a really good series. And I've always been a huge fan of MTW since then, but also Artstyle, the legend, you have to respect him, Dread as well. I mean, Yoki's a very solid player that's been coming up through the Russian scene recently. They're going to Exorcism, they're going to go for the tier 1 tower down bottom, and Yoki's going to work, and we'll take it. And that is level 2 ultimate, by the way. While that's all happening, they were pressuring top. An item just came out, I'm not sure what it was, but I thought it was pretty... Oh, it was the Orchid, I believe, for the Clinks. Yeah, that's it. And that's 3 silences. Oh my god. Actually, it should have only been 2. I'm not sure why the 3rd one showed up there, but...
That's very sounds very dead ancient apparition.
Yeah, he's just dead, man. That's how you gotta say it.
Hellraiser just has been giving a little bit of space to this Earthshaker, like letting him take lanes for a little bit. He did on bottom for a while to work towards his Blink Dagger and get higher level, so he'll be able to initiate and stun lock people. Meanwhile, Jorel is, now that he has Orchid, trying to hunt around a lot more than he was before. He was already doing a little bit of that.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to go into the dire jungle where he knows the entire Hellraiser's team is, though.
I mean, he'd still be safe, I think, unless they have a gem. I don't believe so. They have no sentries on the map currently for Hellraisers, which I find kind of hard to believe. But 19 minutes in, the Spectre does have a relic, so Phase Drum, Relic, pretty good. Radiance would be better, obviously. And once you get that Radiance and you start farming away, that's when you're hitting your stride. And I don't know if Denial put enough pressure on Artstyle to really stop him from being a factory. He's going to haunt, though. I'm not sure who he's looking for. He's actually just trying to scout out Draw, probably more than anything. He doesn't reality into anybody, but...
They also had AA ult on cooldown while they used both of those, and they need to maybe dead here.
Burn? Oh, the Forge Spirits! Come on! He can't even catch a break. He thought he might live, and then he gets Forge Spirit to death.
Good stun from Dubas, but it was not enough. But yeah, they threw out the Haunt as well as the Furon ultimate, but Ancient Apparition had 20 seconds on his ultimate for that, because if you had just shot one top with the Bat Rider, he saw farming a wave. So Yuki's pressuring bottom, Dread TP's in.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, that split push light.
Dire's structures are fortified.
They're going to TP out though. Actually, a couple of crews TPing mid currently. Sunstrike back on Dubas. There's the Orchid. Sunstrike doesn't connect, but they get the kill anyways. Once he gets the tower, Ice Blast coming through. We'll have to back away, but nicely done there, and they defend the tier 2 in that bottom lane. Great rotations from Denial, dealing with the split push effectively and also still getting the tower at the same time. And important to note, Matt is very close to his mech. He actually just needs the res cream.
Not only doing a really good job of controlling the map this game, Furion against a Clinks that has Orchid has to be extremely careful. And Clinks right now is scouting around, focus there as well.
Sunstrike, that actually is not going to connect. That Cold Snap just stunning him in place. He can't move anywhere, and that's a huge pickup. And again, as close as our style was to that Radiance, it's still delayed, so maybe 23, 24 minutes before we see that. And again, Jarrell getting involved early on here. He's playing a heck of a game with this Clinks 4-0-2 now. But he's also got 3k gold, and now you wonder what his next item choice is here for the Clinks. What would you build in this situation?
He's got a choice. He could get the Blink for Blinks. He could go for BKB, or he could go with another damage item if he doesn't use BKB. If he thinks his positioning is going to be strong enough and he can wait for Earthshaker Fissure before he goes in, then he could just skip BKB altogether and go for Scotty or something.
I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I feel like in this game, he's caught out a couple of times by Fissure, but I think for the most part, I don't know if Blinks is maybe the best idea, but it looks like he's going to go BKB. He picks up the Ogre Club, so
top tower is
he just wants to...
The safe choice.
Yeah, it's a smart decision, and I think this is the right decision also. I don't know if you really need that Blinks. He can get it later also.
Once he gets BKB, he's going to be extremely difficult to kill, especially if he has his ult buff on.
Yeah, that's the thing, is Death Pact, which is, by the way, a very short duration, but also a very short cooldown. You have to manage that very effectively.
Yes.
I don't know. That's really the tough part for me for Jarrell, is making sure you don't take a fight when you have your Death Pact on cooldown. Or off cooldown, rather. And Matt is getting his mech now, so this is the time, I think, for Denial to start maybe pressuring a couple more towers. Not, like, too crazily, but taking them where you can get them haunt again. And that's, I think...
With haunt down, they're going to have Endure and Ultimate. They're going to have to go for it.
These are just scouting haunts, man. Every single haunt we've seen this game has been scout haunt, so I don't understand the decisions.
Top lane's pushed out. Mid lane is decently pushed out, plus there's no mid tier 1 anyway. So I think we might try to go for bottom or try to go for top tower and kills top.
Tier 2 is available. Sprout, Jarrell, Lasso, maybe not the best play for Dread. Exorcist is going to go, but there's the Eul Scepter. Flame Break, Firefly still going. Dread, silence up now on him. He should fall. Ice Blast coming through the Fissure as well. Jarrell getting low. He will go down, but here's Funzy going to town. Sunstrike missed. They can't get the kill on Yoki. And he will actually get out alive, but with Exorcism down now, they can send the Necro 3 onto the tower, and even without Jarrell, they can take this. So, a 1-for-1 trade, and that does give a bit of money towards Hellriz, but not nearly enough to really do that much.
And Clinks could have actually man up and fought there. The DP isn't crazily farmed. 7 armor, and he was sitting on around 700 to 800 HP.
Top tower has fallen.
Clinks can, with Eul's on cooldown, most importantly, he could have just attacked into him instead of running away and running directly into the Earthshaker Fissure.
Yeah, it was kind of Benny Hill-like in that situation.
He died either way, but at least he could have done some damage and maybe got another kill for his team.
Oh. And they actually missed the AI Splash, but they still might get this kill on that, even though he does have chemical regen. Let's see what Concoction going. He's going to stun up Dread here. Maelstrom is up for the Nature's Prophet, by the way. And in fact, I want to check the items real quick as well. BKB very close to being done for not only Jarrell, but for Paris as well. And he also has his Blink Force already, so Paris is having a great game.
14 minutes, which was absolutely unreal. Sunstrike playing out.
Yeah. That is just... The fact that Paris had such a good game, Saksha had such a great game early on is very impressive to me, so...
First sled helped out a bit with that, but it's only died once.
Speaking of dying, maybe Mad will go down. He's got unshielded Kakashi. He can't throw it. He's orchid it up. He's going to stun himself. Mad is going to go down. Haunt as well. They want to get involved with Jarrell. They have no detection, however. Ice Blast is going to sail through and not going to connect, so... Now, Hellraisers are starting to play a bit aggressively, and they're getting a couple of kills on the back end of it. And that's also your Blink Dagger coming out for your Earthshaker. At 25 minutes in, this isn't bad for Dubas. He's finally going to get involved here with some Echo Slams, hopefully.
Yeah, he's still been involved with Fissures. He's had pretty good positioning, and he's gotten some nice Fissures off. They haven't always been enough to save people. And he's gotten caught a couple of times himself protecting his solos. But... I wouldn't say he wasn't involved at all. He got original attack.
or two. Paris, Sakshika trying to get him to the high ground currently. Rolling away. Maybe. TP out from Dread. Alright. Okay. Good try from Hellraisers, but they can't get anything done off the back end of that gank. That could have been a lot, though.
Bad, too hard to kill. They do have a Hex on Invoker now.
Yes, that is actually very nice. I'm surprised he's gotten so much farm even without the Midas, but then again, I guess it's not that big of a deal considering how often he's been involved in kills. He's got 174 last hits as well, which is pretty good for an Invoker. I'm surprised he's the leading farmer, but actually maybe not so surprised with his Fort Spirits now. Max level Exort, obviously level 4 Quas, and he's got his Point Wex as well, which gives him a bit more to work with. But with the Hex now, with the Necro now, he's got plenty of lockdown, he's got plenty of pushing potential. And it really just comes down to what do they want to do here in the next couple minutes. I mean, there's a gem now up on the Alchemist as well, so they have map control going their way. So, Dread getting chased down. He's got a DD. Oh, he's got a DD. Strafe, couple of Seer hits, and he's done. Nicely done for Jerome to pick up that hero. A simple concussion on the back there, and Yoki getting caught out. Mystic Flare, Lasso. They bring him down. He's down for 56 seconds as well. And this could be prime time for either Roshan or heading to the high ground here. Even this early, you can do it. There's no buybacks on the map except for the Nature's Prophet, which actually, that's really good. More importantly, Yoki's down for a while.
Not having it is pretty huge.
Yes.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
This is their time. Tier 3 push coming in now. There is Glyph used, and this is going to be tough, I think, for Hellraisers. Ice Blast will be able to stop them for a moment, but they still have mech to go. And Ice Blast only connects on Draw, I believe. So now they're just going to head to the high ground. Like Echo Slam coming in, but there's the mech immediately afterward. Dubas gets silenced up. There's the Haunt coming through. Artstyle working on QSTF Bunsey. Sunstrike not going to connect. Artstyle getting right click down. BKB's up for Geralt. Deafening Blast. They grab the kill. They're going to get a double kill for Paris. 4 dead, the last to live. That's going to be immune. He's going to make his way out of there with 50 HP. The Raxes are theirs for the taking. And Denial with a huge fight. Absolutely outstanding. And they're going to take the range racks first, melee rack second. Boom, Denial with an absolutely outstanding play.
I don't think that Denial even saw the game range here. I think he stayed in fog. And Funzy got the instant hex off after the Echo Slam. He wasn't able to chain a fissure into it. So that was an unimpressive initiation from Earthshaker. And an extremely impressive hex coming out from Funzy. That reaction time.
That reaction time,
that fight. Plus DP was still dead.
That's true as well. They couldn't get her in there and really just have the exorcism go and do all the work. And it just felt like a forced initiation, which, I mean, you have to at that point in time. It's either lose a set of racks, you know, for nothing, or try to fight, and at the worst, well, you saw what happened, so... Bloodstone is going to be the choice for the Death Prophet for Yoki, though, but this is a choice I'm not sure about, because this is an item you usually go for when you're getting kills and you're starting to get farm. You could build up those stacks on your Bloodstone, but that doesn't seem to be the case this game, so...
Yeah, you chose to get that over Heart, or get something like a casual plate mail, or go separate, not choose this game.
You are dead, my friend. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, looks like he will go down. Getting close though, Lasso in the back end, they're going to try to fight this immune, getting caught out. Mystic Flare, not so much. And 2 for 1 trade as across the map they got a kill on Dread through Clinks, and so Geralt getting involved there. He actually has a Crystallis now too, so...
And Ward gets killed via the gem. Roshan might be the next target for Denial, or they could just go to clean up the tier 2 bottom in a little bit.
Yeah, it's really their choice at this point. I feel like if the problem is that bottom's not that pushed in, but I don't really think it's a problem. They have armor reduction from Acid Spray. They have plenty of right click from Geralt. I think they can take this pretty quickly. Yeah, it's just gonna fall real fast. It's gonna be about a 10-second burst coming out here for Denial, which means that an agent should be going for Geralt. I think he has the spot for it. So, and now it's very difficult for our Hellraisers to stay in this game. I think.
Both and Draw are still at 9 seconds. So this next fight is going to be extremely hard for Hellraisers.
Well, I mean, this is going to be the do or die situation whenever Denial decide to push into the high ground here. I think because they don't want to give Artstyle too much more. I mean, he only has his Vitality boost, so that was the thing that he picked up after the Radiance, so that's something that you have to keep in mind.
They really don't want him to be able to push hard for the second lane.
And he gets that heart, and all of a sudden he becomes not necessarily impossible to kill, but a lot more difficult. So they're going to keep the pressure on. They're going to be able to push out top lane. The tier 2 is their bottom, and I think that's probably the next objective.
Yeah, they've got BOTs up on Evoker, so he's able to sit here and push out lanes. He's not too afraid of getting solo kill because their Furion on Hellraisers is underfarmed. At this point, he only has Blinked Midas and Mail. He did have to buy back in that fight that there was a dieback, so that cost him a lot of money, momentum in the game. So he just wanted to get to top of the nodes and they're not under third of split push, and then they can group up and push bottom in. He's actually running here to save his bot's cooldown, which are only 50 seconds now.
Well, that's actually, I mean, I guess it's better just to run the marathon than to have to use your bot's cooldown. You don't really need it, I guess. There's no pressure. No, there is that 5-minute Aegis, though, for Jaral. He's actually going to grab his Daedalus before heading to that bottom lane. So now it's pretty much all in at this point. Not necessarily all in, but they certainly want to try to get another set of racks here. That's their main goal.
They're definitely ahead at this point in the game.
Yep, you look at the net worth chart, 12,000 for Denial, and experience-wise, it's almost about 10,000 as well, so... Leading the net worth is going to be the Clinks here. Funzy behind just a bit. He's sitting at 15k. Dread is jungling the opposing team's jungler. Doesn't want to get caught out in his own jungle. Tier 2 tower is going to go down, and you have to have a great defense here. Blink Echo Slam is going to be huge coming out for Dubas, so we'll see how they defend against this. If they spread out, if Denial can avoid all of that damage. Meanwhile, they're going to use Strafe. Exorcism's going to fly. Dual Scepter, that'll be up on Denial. It's going to get silenced as well. They're going to push it back. Ice Blast, Haunt. They're using all these abilities. BKB prepares. Unstable Concoction, Art Style, Reality's in. He's going to get silenced. Mystic Flare blown up as well. He's down for 66 seconds, but he does buy back. Yoki, he's hexed up as well. Fisher blocks, but does not keep him out. He will stay alive. His Exorcism is going to be over in just a bit. And not much was used there for Denial at all. So Haunt's down, Exorcism's going to be down. The only thing they didn't use is Echo Slam. And now it's just time to go high ground here for Denial, I think.
Yeah,
but another use.
Oh, Quince is stuck.
Force
Out by the sprout. Yeah, force that too.
Oh no, Creo! He's gonna go down, it looks like. These Ice Blasts have been brutal for Denial. Oh my god, he survived! One tick away, unstable connecting, Deafening Blast only hitting on a mute, Blink Blast on Dubas. Force not available for 3 seconds, but here we go. Silence going in, but Jaral right-clicking down Dubas. He is going to go down to the Orchid, it looks like. Now Art Style getting focused, concussive shot, Sunstrike, boom! Double kill though, it's Jaral getting it done. Aegis coming up, unstable onto the high ground, Dread getting brought low, but Jaral's chasing after other heroes. Dread trying to see the up, but there's the cold snap going in. Dread's going to try to sprout, but not going to do anything. 3 dead on Hellraisers. They lose 2 for Denial, but their main heroes, their cores, they're tanky bad boys. And they're going to be looking to get to the high ground here as Yoki now. Ice Blast. Misses on everybody. Here we go. High ground again. And that actually has his mech up in cool, so. Funzy's regenning up. The second set of racks coming in here in the second. Dead for 46 seconds is going to be the Spectre. And this should be a second set of racks. In fact, it is.
And Denial just gets run away.
That's just, they're done. That's it. So now,
the Aegis there, but Aegis being only 5 minutes, you want to use that in the first fight you take once you have it.
Yeah. That was really well played, actually.
Yeah, they got their objective. They only lost a couple of heroes in their Skywrath and Bad. Really good fight coming out from Denial.
Absolutely.
They're looking impressive right now.
I mean, you're taking a set of racks here. You're in a position where now with 2 sets of racks down, you're really choking out this Spectre. They're trying to fight in some of the most kind of awkward places in just their initiation. They're using all of their abilities before you even get to the high ground or as you get to the high ground. And all of a sudden you just wait those abilities out and you continue to pressure the high ground and get kills on the back end of it. And a fight that definitely looked like it could have gone Hellraiser's way with maybe better initiation goes Denial's way and turns into a set of racks. Now with 1 set of racks remaining, if they get those mega creeps, I think the game at that point is essentially over. And even right now, it's still very difficult. You're going to starve out Art Style, who is still behind. You talked about it also. This was the most important thing, or one of the most important things, is that he doesn't get that second, or doesn't get that heart by the time that second set of racks is down. So Denial accomplished their goal in that regard.
Heart Spectre does so much more damage to your entire team with Dispersion and keeping the Radiance burn on. So I'm not having that. Just it makes it a lot easier for them. Plus they have long duration BKBs. It's still 8 seconds on their 2 heroes, and they might even be going for BKB as the next item on Poker, who is currently saving for buyback since he can die, buyback, and bots right back into the fight. And they're not letting their foot off the gas. They're going straight for the kill. They're going for the top lane and mega creeps right now.
This could be it for the first game for Hellraisers. Denial playing such a solid game of Dota, and they'll keep the pressure on, as you mentioned. See how this turns out in just a minute. God, I mean, this has just been, it's been fun to watch, man. Fun's been hitting with Sunstrikes, and although Hellraisers haven't really done much, they made this game pretty close, and a lot of good fights are close anyways. Big Echo coming in, but only really on Draw. They go back up to Draw. He's getting low. Haunt in. Look at all the fight, the chaos. Breaking up an art style, getting right-click down. Draw gets the kill. Lasso on immune. Meanwhile, Yoki is hexed up. Funds, he's got to make his way out of there. Ghost Walk gonna keep him away from those exorcism spirits, but they will grab a double kill for Dread. Skyroth goes down. Paris does as well. Good defense. They get all their abilities off, and that's what they needed to do at the fight at the tier 3 in the mid lane and the tier 3 in the bottom lane as well. But they do start doing it now.
Artcell just got like 4 or 5 shot by Clanks. That was actually ridiculous.
It's unfortunate because I wanted to see if he would have gotten a ton of gold from that. I mean, he is up to 2.3k. The team fight recap didn't show up for me, so I can't really see it, unfortunately. That's sad. Meanwhile, TPing down to the bottom lane. Dread, he actually TP'd away as the Sunstrike came in, so nice split pushing coming out, but I think at this point, if you're Denial, you probably have to get another Roshan, but it's still pretty far away at this point. Because if another fight like that happens and you have an Aegis, then all of a sudden that can be avoided. Heroes.
They jumped straight in onto Drawl, but Drawl with a creep buff was too tanky for them to take down. He was able to get his BKB off in time.
And he just laid into art style essentially.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he blew him up.
Yeah. I mean, with the Daedalus, he has a Helm of the Dom now too, which probably will lead into a Satanic at some point in the future. And he's already pretty tanky with Death Pact at level 3, especially when that's up. When it's not up, maybe not so much, but still, it's going to be very difficult to kill him if he picks up a Satanic at some point in time, which he can get next if he wants to. I'm not sure if he will, but it's a good item.
Satanic's always a good item against Spectre. Just because you're taking so much damage over time, and not even just the usage, just having that when you're hitting for so much as it clinks with your ultimate and Searing Arrows damage. You lifesteal, and you just stay at strong enough HP to keep in the fight. As long as you're not affected by the AA blast.
Well, looks like the push is coming. They're going to play top and Blink Lasso. If he can catch out Yoki, that'll be huge. He does have buyback, so he also has a Bloodstone. He's only down for 30 seconds. Ice Blast goes. Creo. Now the Haunt coming in as well. They're going to try to fight this yet again. It looks like, or at least get the kill on Creo. They want to kill these illusions quickly, but no. Artcell does get that kill. The Haunt is now down, so that's the thing. That's the trade-off there. As you Haunt, yes, you get the Skywrath, but I don't know if it's really worth it.
Another really good play from Funzy there. As soon as he saw the Haunt, it was an instant hex onto the image that spawned onto Creo. Creo unfortunately ran back into the other images, but he instantly hexed that one to try and save Creo's life. The reactions coming out of Funzy this game are amazing and ridiculously quick.
This is the type of playstyle that I've been waiting to see from this team. This is the whole MTW team from back in 2012 when they played at TI2. It just feels like they're playing that way again. Just really solid Dota, but aggressive. You know, they know what they need to get done. Funzy is just doing everything ridiculously well in this game. Sakshika has had a fantastic impact, and obviously Matt has just been kind of the leader in terms of what's going on across the map. And Jaral has been very impressive as well, honestly. He's just been doing some work here on this flank, so...
This is the sleep of making it pretty good. Except for the one time where he died, he just did not man up at all. He just died doing nothing.
Last fight coming in. That'll be on Dread, but there's the Evil Scepter coming through. Fisher coming out. Sakshika's trying to do it on his own. And the exorcism is going to get popped now. Funzy pops the BKB, Artstyle chasing after him. He's going to try to TP out. This is not the fight they want to take. Funzy makes it out miraculously, though, somehow. Smoke, Mad doesn't get caught with that. Creo now trying to get out. Silence is going to go through. They'll split up. They want to try to avoid as many deaths as possible here. And still chasing. Creo is going to fall. It looks like Mad will get out just fine. Draw getting away. He did get the Aegis, mind you. And he got a kill with the Soul Burn on Dubas as well, which I didn't see, but...
Yoki's got a Blink Dagger on Death Prophet.
That's not the first time I've seen that, but...
It's a really interesting pickup, though.
Yeah.
It's something that's not the norm.
No,
he's
definitely
working
not.
on Ashivas next. Potentially AC.
Finally, the heart is done, though. And I was talking about this Bloodstone. It looks like I was wrong. He got 10k, or 10 charges, rather, on the Bloodstone. But meanwhile, Denial are still ahead, 1,500 in terms of the net worth. They were up 20k before that fight. But then that fight broke out, and steadily it's been dropping here and there. And experience-wise, it's still pretty close. 6,000 for Denial, but that's not that bad. So now with the heart done, this gets very difficult for Denial, I think, to stop. I mean, there's a haunt up, but, well, Artstyle's getting orbited. Daedalus procs, Sunstrike. Not enough to kill him, but they dish out as much damage as possible. That's with one hero and a Sunstrike alone. So really well played.
And Denial is going for the throat once again.
Yeah. And also, Matt has a Heaven's Halberd too, so something to keep in mind. Throw that on the Spectre, throw that on the Nature's Prophet. Yeah, that's it. And,
even the Earthshaker. You know, that 400% damage from Enchant Totem, it's got 500 damage.
Enchant Totem pretty good. Fisher coming out. They blow up the creep wave, but already the tier 3 tower pretty low. Just a couple more Searing Arrow procs.
Denial isn't bull rushing the base this time. Last time they went with the first wave that they had, and they went for it. This time they're letting creeps push in on middle. They're letting creeps push in on bottom, just so there's pressure on the little building and also the tier 4 towers at the same time as they're going into the Rack's top.
They know they have this 2 racks advantage. There's no reason to push the aggression. Yeah, exactly. Just kind of take it slow and see what they can get done with it. So next, I haven't checked items in a while. I do want to see who has what at this point. There is that Ghost Scepter now from Immune. Blink Dagger we talked about for Dubas. He also has the 4 staff. Dread now is up to a Mjolnir Scythe and a Blink of his own, so he's starting to get farmed. And we've really been checking the Spectre's items a lot too, but we see that is the heart.
12 minutes or so, Dread finished Mjolnir and he got
Mystic Flare, he gets blown up and he doesn't have buyback. He's down for 73 seconds. And big pick up there, but what can they get done with it? Also, the Exorcism did go. Now, keep in mind, you do have Echo Slam still for the Earthshaker. That could be a big initiation tool here coming up from Hellraiser, so we'll see how it turns out. Glyph is popped, and Satanic is finished now, so... And Geralt is very taky even without Death Pact, so...
Denial is playing really cautious because the Spectre still has small clip. They don't know if he has buyback. They don't want to get bumped by his
Aegis still up on Geralt. He did get hexed up, now he's still going to town. Meanwhile, Echo Slam coming in, Geralt getting low. Messed up though, staying alive. Dread pops Mjolnir, but Dread is getting blown up by Geralt. And there's going to be the Crypt Swarm going to work. Geralt still, again, with that Aegis, up in the air in the Yule Scepter. They do take the melee racks. Fisher's going to go, that's the Aegis done. And that should be it, I think, for the most part. Unstable's going to fly on Yoki. Last set of racks is going to fall. And this game is pretty much all but over for Denial. They've taken a really fantastic game. They're now going to the Tier 4 towers. They have a couple of buybacks, but they don't have the Furion. So unfortunately, they'll be down for another 50 seconds. The last one going through, that'll be on Dubas. Yoki was hexed up as well. Mystic Flare, not really connecting, not that it matters. They get yet another kill, and that'll be on Dubas. Haunt coming in, there's the reality. Creo! He's gonna fall just barely. No, Nag getting low, but here's gonna be the Orchid coming in. Funky doing some work there. Up in the air is Geralt. BKB is popped. Artstyle getting blown up. Boom! Geralt gets another one. Monster kill streak for him. And they're doing some work. Immune is gonna pop the Ghost Scepter. GG finally called. And game number 1 will go the way of Denial in an absolutely fantastically played game, remember.
Yeah, they came in with a game plan. They played. It looks like they've practiced lines extremely similar about the exact same thing as this one. And they knew their time when they needed to get stuff done, and they did it. They took the objectives and killed the throne.
They hit the buildings.
They hit the buildings.
And that's all you gotta do.
They also hit the heroes. They hit everything.
That's true. They
hit
There's a
creeps
fire
too.
sale. Hit everything. Everything must go. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break here. Dota Pit Season 2, it's a fantastic day to be casting. The first day, obviously, a bit of an inauspicious start for us, but we got back into it. Great first game between Denial and Hellraisers. We've got a second game in our last game of the day coming up in just a moment. Of course,